Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. General Hospital spoilers. Nina's new love triangle drama. Two romantic partners bring a torn heart. General Hospital, EHS spoilers reveal that the show has a golden opportunity to reset Sonny Corinthos, Maurice Benard, once he's back on the proper medication dosage. Sonny has definitely been more volatile and reckless with his decisions ever since Valentin Cassadine, James Patrick Stewart, started having his meds tampered with. Of course, Sonny could easily reevaluate his life choices once the situation with his meds is rectified. It's true that Nina ratted out Drew Kane, Cameron Matheson, and Carly Spencer, Laura Wright, to the SEC. But Sonny may ultimately move past that. As for all the latest drama happening at The Invader, Eva Jerome, Maura West, and Natalia Ramirez, Eva Leroux, deserve far more blame than Nina. Natalia is the one who was making homophobic comments, and Ava was the one who leaked the recording to Adrian DeWitt, Diederik Gray, behind Nina's back. In other words, Nina hasn't really done anything unforgivable, so Sonny may see that once his prescription issue is resolved. Sonny is going to need a love interest, and it definitely won't be Ava. It's doubtful it'll be Natalia either now that her bigoted view of Christina Corinthos Davis, Kate Mansi relationship has come to light. A reunion between Sonny and Carly Spencer, Laura Wright, might be an option. But what if Sonny wants to fix his relationship with Nina instead? If that's the case, it could throw Nina for a loop and lead to a potential new love triangle. There was a time when Nina would have jumped at the chance to get back together with Sonny. But now she's got these strange sparks with Drew going on, and it's obvious that she craves their sizzling moments behind closed doors. Even if Nina agrees to try again with Sonny in the coming months, she might find herself pining for Drew and thinking that maybe he's the one she truly wants. It'd be interesting to see Nina struggle to make things work with Sonny while secretly longing for Drew instead. Regardless, our GH predictions hint that Nina's love life could get increasingly complicated, so we'll bring you updates on any wild news that might be coming up. General Hospital spoilers say Nina may have to make some difficult decisions down the road, so stay tuned. Nina Reeves sat at the corner table of the Metro Court, her fingers nervously tracing the rim of her wine glass. The bustling restaurant around her seemed distant and blurred, her mind consumed by a whirlwind of thoughts and emotions. Nina had always believed her heart was resilient, able to weather the storms of love and loss, but now she found herself at the center of a tempest that threatened to tear her apart. Across the table sat Valentin Cassadine, his intense gaze fixed on her. There was a time when Valentin had been Nina's everything. Their love was passionate, tumultuous, and consuming. He had been her knight in shining armor, rescuing her from the depths of despair and giving her a reason to believe in love again. But the secrets and lies that Valentin harbored had shattered their trust, leaving a fracture that seemed impossible to mend. "Valentin," Nina began, her voice trembling slightly, "I don't know if I can go through this again. We have been here before, and it nearly destroyed me." Valentin reached across the table, his hand gently covering hers. "Nina, I know I've made mistakes and I've hurt you more than anyone else ever could. But I've changed. I've spent every day since we parted trying to become a better man for you and for Charlotte." Nina's heart ached at the mention of Valentin's daughter, Charlotte, whom she loved dearly. The bond they shared had been one of the few bright spots in the darkness that followed their breakup. But the scars of the past were deep, and Nina was no longer the same woman who had once given her heart so freely to Valentin. As she opened her mouth to respond, the restaurant door swung open, and Nina's eyes were drawn to a tall, striking figure entering the room. It was Dr. Silas Clay, her former lover and the father of her long-lost daughter, Kiki. Silas had recently returned to Port Charles, bringing with him a flood of memories and unresolved feelings. Silas's gaze locked onto Nina's, and a slow, confident smile spread across his face. He made his way towards their table, each step sending a shiver down Nina's spine. When he finally reached them, Silas greeted Valentin with a polite nod before turning his full attention to Nina. "Nina," Silas said, his voice a smooth, familiar caress. "It's good to see you." Nina felt a rush of emotions, a mixture of joy and apprehension. Silas had been her first love, a beacon of hope during one of the darkest periods of her life. Their relationship had ended in heartbreak, but the chemistry between them had never truly faded. "Silas," Nina replied, her voice barely above a whisper. "What brings you here?" Silas's eyes never left hers as he spoke. "I heard you were in town, and I couldn't stay away. I needed to see you, to talk to you." Valentin's grip on Nina's hand tightened, a silent plea for her to remember the love they had shared. Nina's heart pounded in her chest as she found herself torn between the two men who had shaped her life in profound ways. On one side, there was Valentin, a man who had brought both immense joy and unbearable pain. On the other, Silas, a man who represented a love that was pure and untainted by the deceit and betrayal that had marred her relationship with Valentin. "Nina," Silas continued, his voice filled with sincerity, "I know I've made mistakes too, and I left you when you needed me most. But I want to make things right. I want to be there for you now, in every way that I couldn't be before." Nina's mind raced as she tried to process the emotions swirling within her. She had spent so long building walls around her heart, protecting herself from further pain. Yet here she was, faced with the possibility of rekindling not one, but two great loves. The weight of the decision pressed heavily on her, threatening to crush her beneath its enormity. As the evening wore on, Nina found herself lost in the conversation with both men, each one vying for her affection and understanding. Valentin spoke of their past, of the dreams they had shared, and the family they had tried to build. He promised a future filled with honesty and devotion, a chance to rebuild what they had lost. Silas, on the other hand, spoke of new beginnings. He painted a picture of a future unburdened by the past, where they could rediscover the love they had once known and create something even stronger. His words were a balm to Nina's wounded heart, offering hope and a sense of possibility. By the time the evening drew to a close, Nina was no closer to making a decision. She stood between Valentin and Silas, her heart torn in two. Each man represented a different path, a different future, and the choice she faced seemed impossible. As she said her goodbyes and left the Metro Court, Nina's mind was a whirlwind of thoughts and emotions. She walked along the waterfront, the cool breeze and the sound of the waves providing a momentary respite from the chaos within her. She knew that no matter what decision